In this video, I'm going to be talking about an exam I just took, which is the new Security Plus exam. Well, new as of this video. This exam came out a few days ago. This is going to be the Security Plus SY0 601. And I took it exactly 30 minutes ago. All right, so just to show you guys that, here's my score report. And I finished it at 317. This video is right now is at 347. And yeah, I did pass, but that's not unexpectable considering my background. If you guys know who I am, I'm Andrew Ramdiel. I am a IT instructor, former pen tester, and a person that has over 62 certifications. Actually, I have 62 certifications. I don't know if I want to count this because I've already had Security Plus. Security Plus was a certification that I had taken before many years ago. And I decided to take it again today because I'm actually creating a course for it. And I wanted to share my experience. Now, I have not finished creating the course for it. In fact, I didn't even get through all of the syllabus, and I've probably only done one of those objectives. There's 6 domains in the new Security Plus. 5 domains, actually. It's 5 domains, and I've only done videos for one of them. So I've only had in-depth look at one of them. So I decided to take it just to know what's on it, see what it feels like, and then relay that experience as I'm teaching the class. And after taking this exam, I'm going to have to be redoing some of my videos. And how much did I score is probably what you're wondering. I scored a little over 800, which is kind of disappointing for me. I am a pen tester. I'm CEH certified. I have my EC Council. I'm also an EC Council authorized instructor. I'm a CTT certified technical trainer. I've been teaching CISSP, CEH, a variety of other pen testing classes, and so on. So I thought I was going to get a better score than that, and I'm a little disappointed in myself. I thought the last time I took this exam, I got almost a perfect score, and now I'm just a little bit over 800 out of 900. So it's not a bad score, but I'm a little disappointed in myself, and this is not good news for you guys. If you are just starting out or you haven't taken this exam already or you're now studying for it, stay with me in this video. It's probably going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, and I'm going to give you my thought process on what you should be doing to study and how you should be studying to tackle this new exam, because this new exam is quite different than what the other CompTIA exams are about. And I'm going to explain that to you as I go over this video. So I'm going to go through the experience from soup to nuts here. So it's going to be a little bit lengthy. So let's go through this. So I decided to schedule this exam and take it last night. Last night around like 10 o'clock in the evening. I was like, well, I'm recording these videos and I should at least know what this test is about. So I just went online to Pearson VUE and I decided to take the online exam. And it was 10 o'clock in the evening. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to take this exam at 2:45 in the morning. So I actually scheduled it for 2:45 in the morning, which should have been this morning. And now here's the good thing about Pearson VUE. There's 24-hour testing. You could take this exam at 2 o'clock. For me, it was 2:45 in the morning. So, if you're a night owl and you like that kind of stuff, you could definitely do it. So I scheduled it for 2:45, and then I said, maybe I should just start reviewing the syllabus. And then I started reviewing that syllabus, the exam objectives. I started reviewing the exam objectives to make sure I see all the topics, make sure I know everything that was there, in case they put something I didn't see before. And I started reviewing that, then I fell asleep on the chair. So then I went back to Pearson VUE, and I'm like, I'm just too tired for this. And the good news is that I was able to reschedule it for this time today. It was scheduled for 1:30 today. And you could see it was started at 1:30. I'm going to talk about that whole experience. So I even scheduled it for actually 2 o'clock today, and you could check in at 1:30. So I scheduled it for 2 o'clock today. Then I went back and sleep. And then I woke up and had some work to do, and I never got back to it. So I just didn't even study. Now, I'm going to walk you guys through the experience of what it's like to take this exam. Then we're going to talk about some of the contents. Now, I'm not going to give away the question. If I do, CompTIA is going to kill me. So I'm not going to give away the contents, but we're going to talk about how to study. So if you've never taken one of these online CompTIA exams, which I never did. I've never taken an online CompTIA exam. I mean, I haven't taken CompTIA exams in a while, but an online version of it, not yet, especially this Pearson VUE one. So I scheduled it for 2 o'clock, and the good news is when you rescheduled it, you can reschedule it almost at any point, it seems. And there was no charge. Today is November 20th. There was no charge for it. Now, I don't know if that's going to always be, maybe because of the pandemic situation, they're allowing that. So I scheduled it for 2 o'clock. Now, when you schedule your exam, you can start the exam you can check in, they say, at 30 minutes earlier. So at 1:30, I put on my computer and I checked in and I started to log in, but then I had a problem with my webcam. And the reason was because there is this camera that's hooked into the phone, to the computer that's being recorded, along with a webcam that's sitting on this computer. So it didn't want to pick up the webcam, the actual camera, this Sony camera that I'm using to film these videos. It didn't want to pick it up. And I said, you know what, let's not use it. Let's just use the webcam. So I had some issues. I had to unplug the cam, got rid of the software, and then reboot the whole machine. Basically, had to reboot because the machine locks. They give you a software that when you check in, they give you a software to install, and it seems like the software had crashed when I removed the USB port. So instead of waiting around, I just shut the whole machine down, put it back on. And at that point, I had unplugged this particular Sony camera. And then I made sure my Logitech camera was plugged in and everything seemed to work fine, but still some issues happen. So what they do is they make you, you have to have your phone with you, and they make you, they send a link to your phone and you click on it. Then you got to take a picture of yourself. Then you got to take a picture of your driver's license or whatever ID you select. Then you got to take a picture of all four corners of your phone. And this is all through our software, like on a web browser on your phone, all four corners of the room. And then when you're done, there's a refresh button on their software. You click on it and it's very weird because they say, thank you. And then they go to another screen where it's very weird to me because they say you're under exam rules and no one can come in a room and you can't pick up your phone and you can't do anything. And then they say you have to wait 15 minutes. So you're sitting there in front of the computer for 15 minutes with nothing to do, like just looking at it. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. So I'm just like watching the camera. There's nothing else to do here. I can't touch the computer. I just have to watch the camera, wait for someone. Eventually this lovely young lady comes on the software and she says, oh, welcome to Pearson VUE. You're going to take an exam. And then they can't connect to my computer. I don't know why. She said, well, I can't see your screen. Can you close everything? Do you check all this? So I closed all the software. I didn't have anything open. Then she said, okay, close the entire software, turn off Windows Firewall. So I had to go and I turned off Windows Firewall, restarted the software again. At this point, she had called me on my cell phone. We started Windows Firewall and that worked. And now it's nearly 2 o'clock. So this whole process has taken about 30 minutes. Now it's nearly 2 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock, though, it was fixed, and she allowed me to start the test. So I started the exam. Now, I'm not going to give away the contents of the test. That's not what this video is about. And not to mention, CompTIA ever finds out, I'm going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Let's just say this. This exam is vastly different from the other CompTIA exams that I've seen. Now, I've taught CompTIA courses. You guys, if you know me, you know I'm an instructor and I've been teaching this a while. And, it's a vastly different exam. Here's what I would tell you that I think it's important to know for this exam. First of all, you must go through your exam objectives and you must know the terms. The exam objectives, they have a lot of terms on there. And there were so many questions where I know that those choices have absolutely nothing to do with that question. There were some times when the choices were so silly that they were put there. I was wondering about the guy who wrote it. If you knew, and that's the thing, if you didn't have any idea what those choices were, and you had no idea what the question was asking, you could have selected them. So here's what I recommend. I recommend hands-on training. I think that you guys need to do more practice. This particular exam had questions where if you didn't have hands-on practice with certain utilities and commands, I'm not going to name them, I don't see it being easy to pass. Now remember, you need a 750 out of 900 to pass, which is a decently high number. So what you guys should be doing is doing and researching and doing more of a hands-on approach to your learning. Now, previously in Security Plus, most of the time people just read a book, read a good Security Plus study guide, and I think you guys know all the good ones that are out there. So people just read a good study guide or, just go through and pass the exam. But I think this one is going to be different. From my experience, I have a lot of hands-on, right? If you guys watch my classes or you take my classes, I'm very hands-on. I do a lot of hands-on pen testing, so I didn't find that part difficult. But from a new person's perspective, it's going to be difficult. So here's what I recommend to you guys. I recommend to you guys to stop just reading. Of course, you need to read. There's no doubt in that. But when you learn something, go practice it. Like if you learn injections, right? Go see how it's done, because you never know. They may ask you stuff like, what type of attack is this? And you got to look at the code and be like, oh, what the hell is that? How are injections attack done? How are cross-site scripting done? How are buffer overflows done? Not just know what they are, but actually see how they're done. That's what you need to know. You also need to know a lot of log stuff. Like, okay, you're examining this log. What is it that you need to find in that log? Now, I don't want to get specific, but just that's all I'll say for now. CompTIA, if you're going to come after me, let me know. I'll remove this part of the video. So if you see a snap in the video, they just said to remove that. But I don't think that's new, right? You need to be able to analyze things, like not just know, okay, this is an attack and this is how you fix it. Know how that attack works. Try to find a way to see a demonstration. Like I don't know, something like an evil twin attack, for example. Like how is that being demonstrated? How is that being done? Is really what you need to know now. So I think my takeaway from this exam is it requires more than just reading. It requires more of a practical implementation on your part. It's no more, I don't think this exam is just about reading a book anymore. I think you really have to go and practice it. As you learn these attacks, especially the attacks, go and practice it. Now, practicing attacks is pen testing. Practicing attack is quote unquote ethical hacking, right? So if you're going to go and create evil twins, or you're going to go and you're going to do web cracking, or you're going to do WPA cracking, you have to see it, right? So if that's what you're going to do, that's going to make this test a lot easier. So do that. And the next thing I would tell you is the tools. You have to know the tools and what they're going to do. Know the commands and know the commands, know the switches. All the commands are in their objectives. Make sure you know the switches. Just don't know that command does this, because it seems like it was more than that. It wasn't just like, oh, what command did this? No, it was like, okay, here's all the commands, and then you got all the switches. So it was more than that. So they had some questions that was really easy that I taught. Like maybe it took me like 10 seconds to answer. Then they had some questions I really had to think about. And there was one of them where I got it wrong. And then I reviewed the questions and then I realized, my God, how did I not read that? So my tips to pass in an exam. Here's what I would tell you to do. Take the exam. Well, of course, study. During the test, I'm talking about tips during the test. Read very, very carefully. There were many, many questions where I would have gotten it wrong if I didn't read carefully, because there were some words in there, man, like one or two words that would throw off the entire question. And there was an interesting part where they had asked a question, and then like about 20 questions later, they gave you the answer to the question previously. Let's just leave it at that. So that was that. I thought that was a pretty funny thing they did there. I don't know how they were pulling the questions from the question pool, but one gave away the answer to the other one. But read carefully. One or two words could have thrown off the answer, and then you could have easily eliminated choices. If you revert back to the questions, in the text of the question, it would say that this choice is not valid. Now, I have the exam contents in my head, so I'm trying to be real careful what not to say here, because like I can literally memorize the word in at this point. I know it's going to go away in a few hours. That's why I decided to do this video quickly. So read it carefully. Try to eliminate the answers, because that's what I did. I read the question and then I saw, okay, I read the questions and then I saw, okay, so this area is eliminated in B, then this text is eliminated in D, then this is eliminated in C. Okay, the answer is A. So that's how I was able to narrow down quite a lot of choices. Now, this exam will contain simulators. Very easy. I thought the simulators were very, very easy on the exam. Much more easier than I was expecting. I can't tell you what they are, but let's just say they were easy. All right, if you know the materials very well, it's pretty easy. I don't think you're going to have a hard time doing this. Once you understand attacks, you understand how to configure devices like routers and firewalls and switches, because that's some of the things they were asking in the exam objectives, and you're probably going to see those on your exam also. Don't forget, everybody's exam is different. What I got may not be what you got. Okay, so that's my experience on this exam. Is it harder than the current exam? Yes, it is. Based on students, based on what I taught before, based on students' feedback that I got from the 5.0, I'm going to now tell my current students, I'm telling you guys that are probably looking to take this exam, it's a harder test. It's more of an implementation test. It's more of, do I have a practical skill test? So do more hands-on training, less book. Well, same amount of book, just practice some more, and this will make you a better security administrator. Okay, so that is my experience on this. Hopefully you found it helpful. I am making a video course for this coming out pretty soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be releasing a brand new video course that's going to, and of course our live classes that we have here at TIA is going to be updated with my video course, my new content coming out real soon. We'll probably start teaching this exam in a few months, but the video course will probably come out in a few weeks. And I'm going to be doing a lot of hands-on labs in it. A lot, because I'm going to make sure, now I know, I'm going to make sure I covered every single, without giving away contents, CompTIA. Don't worry, I'm never going to give away those contents. But I am going to make sure that I cover every single question I saw today. I'm going to make sure that you're well prepared to pass it. So any course you're doing, doesn't have to be mine, any book you're reading, make sure you do a lot of practice. And definitely not unpassable. But if you don't practice, it's going to be difficult to pass. All right, so those are my 2 cents. Those are my 2 cents. That's my experience. If you guys really like my content, hey, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you guys would like more videos on tips on how to pass exams, let me know. I have 62 certifications. I've taken over 100 certification exams throughout my career. So that's a lot of certification exams. I've spent a lot of money there. And hope to see you again soon.